Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be listing my top 5 favorite James Tynion IV comic books. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Today, I'm going to be listing my top 5 favorite James Tynion IV comic books. I want to know what yours are. Let us know in the comments down below. James Tynion came on the scene several years ago. He was kind of like a partner, a writing partner for Scott Snyder. Whenever Scott Snyder had an exposition-heavy issue of, say, Justice League that needed to be done, James Tynion did that. But even before that, whenever he needed to take a little bit of a scripting break from the New 52 Batman, James Tynion would come in and do a lot of those backups. He would come in and do a lot of those fill-in issues, but was doing really solid work and just slowly started doing some independent work and then built up and built up and built up, and now he's one of the preeminent and most successful comic book industry writers right now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, some of these books may not be technically finished, but the impact is already there, and I'm ready to get into it. At number 5, I'm going Detective Comics. This is from the Rebirth era. It's kind of known as the rise and the fall of the Batman. You can get it in an omnibus form. You can get the trade paperbacks. You can still find the original issues. This was a fantastic book. And when the Rebirth era started over at DC, you had Tom King doing Batman, you had James Tynion doing Detective Comics. And Batman was focused on Batman and doing the Tom King Bat-Cat romance type thing. But what I was digging so much at that time, you can go back and check out the weekly comic book reviews, because at first I thought it was all right, but it just kept getting better and better and better. James was able to focus on the Bat family, but not make like some kind of dumb, goofy Bat family book. It still had Batman at the core. It had amazing artwork by Eddie Barrows, and it still just absolutely captured the essence of the character, the essence of the city, and the essence of the surrounding Bat family. Focused in heavy on Batwoman. Focused in heavy on Tim Drake, focused in on making Clayface a more relatable, a more compelling, and enriched figure, a character. I absolutely love the work that was done in this book by James Tynion, building up the family, shifting some things around, and making ultimately one big, badass, epic Batman book that fully utilizes the rest of the family, and not necessarily Barbara Gordon Batgirl, not necessarily Dick Grayson Nightwing, but some of the more undersung and underappreciated, at least at that time, Batman family members. I love his Detective Comics run, highly recommended. At number 4, I'm going The Department of Truth. This book's only about 15 issues in, but it's been fascinating. Now, it's been a little inconsistent at times. James Tynion likes to try to innovate and use different techniques to tell stories. Sometimes he'll have pages of just script dialogue. Sometimes in books, he'll just have pages of prose. And in Department of Truth, it doesn't always necessarily work to its benefit, in my opinion. Like the Bigfoot issues to me are kind of weak. But overall, I love this book. The basic concept is this, if you're not familiar. What if consensus belief changes and affects reality? The more people that believe the Earth is flat, the more, all of a sudden, the Earth is flat. UFOs exist because we believe they're real. Bigfoot exists because we believe he's real. So these wild fictions kind of spring up. In the midst, you got this government agency called the Department of Truth. They're out there trying to actively combat this. Their leader is Lee Harvey Oswald, or at least a version of Lee Harvey Oswald. One of my favorite things about this is James Tynion's not just taking the simple stuff that everybody knows, Bigfoot, UFOs, or whatever. He gets into other things. He gets into the Smiling Man, the Mothman, the Men in Black. He gets into the Denver airport. He gets into the New World Order type stuff. I cannot wait to see where this book goes. Plus, he's joined by Martin Simmons. Holy cow, the artwork in this book. You can literally just have pages and pages of exposition, but somehow Martin Simmons is able to make it kinetic. He's able to make it interesting, even in a dark and menacing and foreboding type way. Add in Aditya Bidikar as a preeminent letterer in comics. Department of Truth, it scratches my conspiracy itch, but at the same time, gives me a very enriched, compelling story. At number 3, I'm going Memetic. Now, Memetic is a 3-issue series from Boom Studios from like 2014, 2015, something like that, and it was great. It was the first part of Tynion's apocalyptic trilogy. There was Cognetic, and there's another one that I don't remember. But Mimetic is absolutely amazing. It's about this meme. It's like this sloth in a spiral or something like that. And this meme is just transfixing to the population, right? And something about it just kind of deadens them mentally and causes them all to kind of cause the end of the world. It's really hard to describe what's going on in this book without necessarily spoiling it, but it's got great character work. The dude who's kind of flung up into the midst of this craziness is a very compelling story. You got really cool artwork on there from Eric Donovan, but the idea of this meme that causes the world to kind of lose itself, go crazy, and bring about the end of the world. It doesn't necessarily have a happy ending, and that's another thing I really like about this book. I think it heated up at some point a couple years ago. There was probably like a movie or a TV show optioned or something like that, but if you've never read Mimetic, you definitely got to check it out. And it was definitely the first book where I go, who's this James Tynion guy? Actually, at the time I said, who's this James Tynion guy? Then I said, who's this James Tynion guy? And I'm pretty sure it's Tynion now. Anyway, Mimetic, really great, undersung, underappreciated James Tynion book. At number 2, we're going The Nice House on the Lake. Now, The Nice House on the Lake is only halfway through its 12-issue run. But book 1, the first 6 issues, because now we're on a hiatus till like March or April or something, that book slaps. That book is absolutely amazing. The Nice House on the Lake is about this loosely connected group of friends. They all know this one dude named Walter, right? And every time they first meet this guy, he's kind of weird, kind of awkward. And he's like, yo, well, how do you think the world's going to end? And he's like taking notes and shit like that, right? And then ultimately what happens is he invites these 12 people to, I think it's 12, maybe it's 10. He invites these people to this nice house on the lake for a nice vacation. While they're there, the world ends. People's faces are melting off. They're seeing this on social media. They're like, what's going on? Turns out he is some kind of mysterious figure who has brought all of them there, and he's telling them, y'all are the last people alive on Earth. The world has ended. James Tynion's got a lot to say about the end of the world. A lot of apocalyptic stories, right? But what's amazing about this book is not necessarily the techniques used to tell the story, which some of those techniques we were talking about with Department of Truth that don't always necessarily work, they work 100% for me on this book, on The Nice House on the Lake. So now you got this group of friends who are trying to figure out what to do. What's going on? They're supposed to just live out their days at this nice house on the lake. Everything is provided to them, but the book gets dark. The book gets mysterious, obviously, right? And the way it builds in just 6 issues. At first, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to really get in to any of these characters and have them all kind of stand out from each other. Within 6 years, within 6 issues, he has already done that. Of course, he's aided by amazing artwork by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Freaking fantastic, right? This has been one of the hottest books of the last year, and rightly so. It's got a great mystery. It's got amazing character development. It's got interesting, innovative techniques that he's using to tell the story, and not in a bogged down, like roll your eyes, annoying kind of way. It really flows. It really works. It's horrific. It's mysterious. It's character driven. It's The Nice House on the Lake, baby. And at number 1, come on, you know what something is killing the children? Come on. Can it be anything else? Now, obviously, this book isn't over either. We've had 20 issues of it, and all 20 issues have been fantastic. Of course, Werther Dell'Edera does not hurt having him on the artwork. Great composition. James Tynion can be a verbose writer, but something about Something is Killing the Children, it just doesn't happen that way. It's a very easy, breezy, quick, brisk read, but it always has a lot of meat to it. It always has a lot of weight to it, right? I really credit this to Dell'Edera's ability to have these double-page compositions, this amazing page layout, panel layout, that actually breaks up some of Tynion's overly verbose word balloons and helps them flow even better. I don't think that there's a better artist working with Tynion as far as making his scripts very dynamic. Now, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Martin Simmons, Tynion has worked with some really amazing creators. But Werther Dell'Edera, there is something about his ability to break up Tynion's verbosity and and elevates his script work to something even more profound. The character work is amazing. It is tragic. It is sad. It is exciting. The monsters are crazy. What is Something is Killing the Children, by the way? In case you're like been living under the rock for the last 5 years, you have no idea. It's about these monsters that go from town to town. They appear. Adults can't see them. Only kids can. And they kill the kids. There's a lot of child death. There's a lot of gross, hard to stomach type moments in Something is Killing the Children, but it is worth it. The character of Erica Slaughter may be Tynion's greatest creation ever. And yes, I know, a lot of people like Punchline. That's cool. Punchline's dope. Punchline's cool. Erica Slaughter, though, that's Tynion's best comic book creation. A great character, setting up the world of the Order of St. George and the House of Slaughter, being able to expand this world out into a second book, but keep the flow of an interest of Something is Killing the Children going. Really excited for its return. I believe in March, April, May, one of those months sees the return of the book, but it is great. I love it. Great coloring, great lettering, just a great dynamic approach to a really sad, tragic, and brutal story that's pretty much necessary and absolutely fun. So there you go. Those are my top 5 favorite James Tynion comic books. What are yours? What are you digging? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. Station. Pop, pop, boom!